My name is Erike. I'm a fifth-year architecture major here at Philadelphia University, from Humble, Texas, and have been part of the AIS since my freshman year in 2004. Okay, so for the first question, what will be the most significant challenge facing architecture and society in 2020, and what's the relevance of architecture in this future? I was thinking what the challenge we have to face in the future is the fact that as architects, we're actually going to be more socially responsible. We're currently aware of it. We're currently aware of the social problems and the social aspects that we as architects need to, one, respect and also, what do you call it? Acknowledge and to be part of like what we design. So I feel now, I think we're going to return to the roots of the architect actually being part of the social movement. Mm-hmm. You know, returning back to that and really being part of society. Like, for example, we were abroad. You know, every decision a city needs to make, there's an architect on hand. So, you know, there's another aspect, and everyone is responsible and part of the process. What else? What's the relevance of architecture in this future? Didn't I just say that already? Well, I mean, it covers in the same question. Mm-hmm. Okay. How will a future architect think or operate in 2020, and what skills will be required? I think it's something like that. That tip that we get even now, as far as with regards to that advice that you always get, that you have to have people skills. You know, and I think that's one of the main parts, is that being able to be able to speak intelligently but still comprehensively to the layman. Mm-hmm. You know, there was at one point in time, we didn't know all this terminology, but now it's time to resort back. How do you bring it back to who it's actually affecting? Why are students, young people, uniquely positioned to address these issues?
0.
Why are we uniquely positioned? Why are we uniquely positioned?
What time are you leaving on?
7 p.m. We're uniquely positioned to address these issues because it is finally coming up. You know, these are things that we've been questioning ever since we started architecture school. Mm-hmm. You know, but it's never been really addressed in the studio. So we've had to resort to talking to each other, talking to our colleagues about, you know, how we're affecting really our environment, our society. And we're at that point that, you know, we have the tools as far as being knowledgeable of what's going on. And also, like, as a student leader, you know, we've begun to also instill and challenge the younger studios, you know, of these kind of issues. You know, yeah, they may be working on like a first year project, but, you know, the biggest part of learning is just talking to people in the studio. And with everyone also taking part in how we become socially responsible, like the profession and the education, you know, all these practitioners, we're going to be the ones coming into our profession with that as our first priority, rather than something that we learn when we're in the profession.